The secret to getting vegetable harvests 40% faster isn't a gadget. It's soaked cardboard straight from your recycling bin, layered like lasagna. No bins, no turning, no mess. This method turns boring kitchen scraps and plain boxes into rich, worm-filled soil in a single season. But why does this simple recipe outpace even the priciest compost tumblers? The answer changes how you'll garden, starting today. Start with a patch of ground, lawn, weedy corner, or even compacted clay. No digging needed. Lay out enough plain corrugated cardboard to cover a 4 by 8 foot bed. You'll want a solid 2 to 3 inches thick, which usually takes 6 to 10 standard shipping boxes, flattened and overlapped so there are no gaps. Before adding anything else, soak the cardboard thoroughly. For a 4 by 8 bed, that's about 7 gallons of water, 2 gallons for every square yard. The cardboard should feel heavy and flexible, like a wrung-out sponge, not sopping wet or falling apart. Now comes the first green layer. Spread out 4 inches of kitchen scraps, grass clippings, or fresh garden trimmings right on top of the wet cardboard. If you're measuring, that's a layer thick enough to just cover your hand when pressed flat. Don't worry about chopping everything fine. Earthworms and microbes do the heavy lifting. Repeat the process. Another 2 to 3 inches of soaked cardboard, then another 4-inch layer of greens. Keep alternating until the bed is at least 18 inches tall, or until you run out of materials. Always finish with a brown layer, cardboard, straw, or dry leaves, to keep moisture in and odors out. The last step, water the whole stack again, gently, until it settles and looks evenly damp. No bins, no turning, no special tools. The lasagna layers do the work for you, creating a soft, breathable bed that starts breaking down right away. With these exact measurements, anyone can build a composting bed that's ready for planting in just a few months, using nothing but recycled boxes and kitchen scraps. In a quiet corner of the city, a group of volunteers set out to test whether cardboard composting could really change the way a community grows food. 12 raised beds, each 4 by 8 feet, were prepared side by side. 6 followed the new lasagna method, with cardboard and kitchen scraps layered as described, and 6 used the best compost from traditional tumblers. Watering, sunlight, and soil were matched for every bed. No extra fertilizer was added after planting. The results were impossible to ignore. Beds built with the cardboard method produced 22 pounds of tomatoes per bed, while the controls managed just 15.5. Bush beans followed the same pattern. 10.2 pounds from the lasagna beds, compared to 7.1 from the others. Lettuce heads counted out at 45 versus 32, all in a single growing season. Each crop was measured, weighed, and logged by the garden lead and volunteers, who double-checked every harvest. Soil tests told their own story. Organic matter in the cardboard beds jumped from 2% to 3.2%, while control beds edged up only half that amount. Water infiltration rates more than tripled, and earthworm counts soared, from just 3 per shovel at the start to 18 by season's end. One volunteer described finding a dozen worms in a single handful of soil, something she'd never seen before. The garden lead, reviewing the data, called it the most dramatic improvement in yield and soil health she'd witnessed in 20 years of community gardening. Dr. Anna R., an extension soil scientist, describes the process as a transformation that starts at the microscopic level. When soaked corrugated cardboard is layered in a garden bed, it creates a thick, airy sponge beneath the surface. The corrugations, those tiny ridges between layers, trap both water and oxygen, providing ideal conditions for earthworms and beneficial microbes. As kitchen scraps and grass clippings break down above, the cardboard below holds steady moisture, preventing the pile from drying out or turning sour. This steady environment is exactly what decomposer bacteria and fungi need to multiply. They break down plant material faster, releasing nutrients that roots can absorb almost immediately. The porous structure of the cardboard also works like a network of tiny tunnels, letting air move freely through the bed. That airflow keeps microbes happy and active, while discouraging the growth of anaerobic bacteria, the ones responsible for foul odors and sluggish compost piles. Earthworms, drawn by the constant dampness and abundance of food, burrow through the layers, mixing and aerating as they go. Their tunnels further increase porosity, and their castings enrich the soil with plant-available nutrients. In extension trials, researchers found that the cardboard method not only accelerates decomposition, but also suppresses weeds and keeps beds nearly odorless, even in midsummer heat. Dr. Anna compares the effect to flipping a switch in the soil. Cardboard acts like a mattress for soil life. It holds water and oxygen, so worms and beneficial microbes stick around and multiply like crazy. The result is a living, breathing compost bed that produces harvests up to 40% faster than traditional methods, without the need for bins, turning, or expensive equipment. A backyard gardener named James decided to try the cardboard method after years of wrestling with a heavy, rusting compost tumbler in his small lot. The old system had cost him nearly $400, not counting the time spent turning and unjamming the barrel every few days. When tomato season rolled around, his best year with the tumbler yielded 14 pounds from a 4x8 foot bed. Respectable but not impressive. Last spring, James skipped the bin entirely. He gathered 6 shipping boxes from the recycling bin behind his apartment building, soaked and layered them with kitchen scraps and grass clippings, and built up the bed just as described. By August, the difference was clear. His tomato plants grew taller and fruited earlier than before. When he weighed the harvest, the scale read 20 pounds, almost 43% more than his previous record. The only cash spent was for a bag of grass clippings from a neighbor, bringing his total outlay to under $5. The soil was dark and loose, with earthworms wriggling through every handful. James noticed he spent less time on maintenance too. No turning, no hauling, no special tools, just occasional watering and topping up with kitchen scraps. The price gap is hard to ignore. Where a new tumbler or fancy compost bin can run anywhere from $250 to $600, a cardboard lasagna bed uses materials most people already have. For renters, students, or anyone on a tight budget, the savings are immediate and the results visible. The extra yield means more fresh food, less waste, and a garden that pays for itself in a single season. Not all cardboard is created equal. For garden beds, only use plain, brown, corrugated shipping boxes, never glossy, waxed, colored, or heavily printed cardboard. Remove all tape, labels, and staples before layering. Glossy coatings and colored inks can contain PFAS, heavy metals, and other chemicals that linger in soil and may be taken up by crops. If the bed starts to smell sour or rotten, add more dry cardboard or leaves and poke a few holes with a garden fork to let air in. Soggy patches need extra dry browns and gentle fluffing to restore airflow. If decomposition stalls and materials are still visible after a few months, sprinkle in more kitchen scraps or a handful of garden soil to boost microbial activity. In most climates, these beds are ready for planting in 4 to 6 months, once the top layer looks dark and crumbly, with no obvious chunks of cardboard left. Try it for yourself. Track the number of days from planting seeds to your first harvest. Record that date. Note how many seeds sprout out of each batch, and jot down the percentage that make it to healthy seedlings. Count up the minutes you spend building and maintaining your bed, from soaking cardboard to the final watering. These numbers matter. Days to harvest, germination rates, and total labor show exactly how well cardboard composting works in your own soil and climate. Share your results with local gardeners, school projects, or online groups. Each new set of data helps build a clearer picture of what this method can do, turning every backyard into a real experiment and every gardener into a citizen scientist. A single season of cardboard lasagna beds produced 40% faster harvests, 22 pounds of tomatoes compared to 15.5 in traditional beds, while increasing soil organic matter from 2% to 3.2%. These results, confirmed by side-by-side community trials and tracked in garden logbooks, show that saturated corrugated cardboard, layered with kitchen scraps, accelerates both crop yields and soil health. Yet questions remain about the long-term effects of trace contaminants like PFAS and heavy metals, as Extension Agency documents caution against using glossy or waxed cardboard. Still, by following tested guidelines, plain cardboard only, 2 to 3 inch layers, and diligent troubleshooting, gardeners can transform poor soil while diverting up to 60% of household cardboard from landfills. The evidence is clear. Simple, accessible materials can outperform expensive equipment, reshaping how home composting is done. What remains to be seen is how many gardeners will adopt these methods and how future research will address the risks that still linger.